Dale, Tom Jensen, SpeedTV.com. You made the comment 2 weeks ago in Charlotte that being a crew chief in general at the Sprint Cup level is a pretty thankless job. And being your crew chief specifically, there's more pressure on that guy than probably anybody. Did you have to do any convincing with Lance to get him to take this job on a permanent basis? And Lance, did you have any hesitation about buying into this permanent one?
I didn't have to convince Lance. I think Lance sees sees a good race team in front of him. He tells me sincerely that he believes in my talent as a driver and feels like that with the in the right situation that we can have a lot of success. So, I was being a crew chief is a very, very tough job and very thankless, and Lance understands that as well as anyone. So I feel confident that he can handle the pressures of the job, and I feel confident, with him in the box. I feel like he's going to make the right calls.
Mike Hembry, NASCAR scene. Dale, we've had a number of changes at other teams recently, RCR making some swaps and the Cowboy situation. But when things happen with you, even if you make a minor uniform change, it's in a big fishbowl. Everybody knows about it the next minute and so forth. Does it make it that much more difficult to make things better for you after what's been a year of bad luck, bad circumstances, and you've had some bad cars and bad races? Trying to make things right, is it harder to do that in the big fishbowl that you live in?
Well, part of me is kind of nervous or would rather do these things without press conferences and all those things. But when you get down to it, it gives you an opportunity to tell your side of the story. That fishbowl that you live in gives you an opportunity to voice your side of it, and so we can get up here. It gives us an opportunity it gives me an opportunity to tell everyone how I feel about the change or how I feel about the future, and so there's less speculation and less guesswork on everyone else's part about where we stand. So it also gives us an opportunity to do thank our sponsors and do all other kinds of things. So it's a good sounding board, and if you take advantage of that, I guess, and use it positively, you guys can, you'll be able to write your story, and you'll be able to use some of my quotes. So I'm at least in there with a place to, give my opinion on it. And so I've gotten used to, the attention of our position. Our team gets a lot of attention, and there's a lot of criticism, especially when we're underperforming. So all the guys that wear the uniform out there, wear the AMP National Guard uniform out there, know that very well. But when things are working for you, it's equally as rewarding. So we just have to go out there and run well and run like we want to, and being in that fishbowl is pretty fun.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius NASCAR Radio. Lance, what have you learned about Dale Earnhardt Jr. working with him during this time? And Dale, knowing next year is so important, what do you feel like you two need to get a hold of this year in preparation for next year between the two of you?
I mean, I can't really narrow that down to just one thing, Claire. Just, like I said, I've had a relationship with Dale for a long time back, all the way back to Ricky and his friendship with Dale in that circle. I was really surprised when I first started working with Dale. His confidence was beat down as much as it was. I expected him to be a lot more positive and a lot more understanding of the situation, I guess you'd say. But since then, I've definitely seen, a light in his eye and a strut in his step as he comes to the car. And like I said, we don't have the bottom line finishes to back up what I feel like we've started to achieve on that team. But I feel like the steps are in place to get there. So I'm excited about that.
And what do you feel like before you step into next year, which is a big year, that you have to kind of get together in the next 4 races?
Well, that's hard to really put into words what I think we need to accomplish to get from where we are now to running up front. Obviously, if you've watched our team closely, you'll see that we've been more competitive on the racetrack in practices, more competitive in particular points in the race where we had struggled with in the past, and so like Lance says, I mean, I see the individual pieces of the puzzle that we're missing kind of coming together and starting to work, but we aren't finishing the races, and we're not. We're having problems or issues. So we just have to figure out, and I think that's more of a mentality, a confidence thing than anything you can put your hands on. So it's not like we're, we're failing in the basic mechanics of building the cars and whatever. So or setting them up for that matter. But I think it comes down to the right attitude and showing up feeling like you're the team to beat, or there's no reason to feel like you're a long shot. So I can't speak for everybody on the team, but my confidence was pretty down earlier. It's gotten better. Still nowhere near where I want it to be, but every week we seem to improve on that, and I'm really impatient about it, but it's just a matter of time. If we can string one or two solid, serious runs together before the end of the season, I think it'd do a world of good for us. I mean, one top 5 for this team, there's no telling how much that could do for us confidence-wise.
All right, we've got time for 2 more. It's going to be Nate, then Lee.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. It seems as if you guys both get along and have a lot of respect for each other, but a couple of weeks ago, Dale, you said you were looking for a dictator type. Can Lance fill that role as well in being a dictator, a taskmaster, and could you address that, and also Lance address that as well? Yeah,
he can. I think that might have been a little bit of a gut shot to him, but yeah. He has he's very serious about his job and very demanding of the individuals that make up the team. And I think especially now that we all know it's his job, he'll demand a lot more out of each and every one of us. So, I think everybody in the team wants to carry their end of the load and then some. We have it's a really good group of guys. They have a lot of want to, and we just got to figure out how to make that into results. But yeah, I mean, I think Lance, can be the tough leader. He's not a very hard. He's not going to be very hard on the guys. That's just not his personality. But I think that he means business. And especially now that we have everybody, have everything lined up as far as everybody knows that it's his job, I think we'll all, take a little more care in what our particular responsibilities are throughout the week with him leading the team.